There's this popular saying, people be like, okay, if they don't want to open the door for you, build your own and knock it down. If they don't want to let you sit on the table, then build your own table and invite others to sit with you. When you talk about consistency and the art of delayed gratification, that's one thing I've learned from YouTube. A lot of times we all want things to happen overnight. Yes, overnight success happens, overnight success exists, but it's not something that just happens overnight. It's like a whole lot of work, and then one day something happens overnight, and then it's called overnight success. However, the work we have to put in behind the scenes, the work the person puts in behind the scenes, nobody wants to talk about that. Hey loves, what's good, what's popping? It's a girl G, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you how YouTube has changed my life with less than 300 subscribers. And this is coming from deep down my heart. I actually sat and thought and just trying to see how YouTube is being there for me in my personal development. YouTube has actually changed my life, and how YouTube has actually made me a better person over the period of time. And the first point is that there's this popular saying, people be like, okay, if they don't want to open the door for you, build your own and knock it down. If they don't want to let you sit on the table, then build your own table and invite others to sit with you. So I feel like that's how YouTube has been for me. As a kid, I remember there was this child show called Nationality on BTV back in the day, and the school I went to, Hillcrest Primary School in Gaborone Block 3, there was actually this girl. She was like years ahead of us, ahead of me in my stream, but then she was like a TV presenter on that popular kids show. So she was like the cool kid, like, oh my goodness, you're on TV, because there was no other way of us being on TV. It was either you are on TV or there's no other way. But then, however, with YouTube, I've had this platform to be myself, to create content, to create this table of mine, and this table is like a YouTube channel where I also get other people, other creators who have created their own tables and share content that is very beneficial to the world. So that's how YouTube has been very, very beneficial for me so far. It's allowed me to create a table where I can sit and invite other people to sit with me, so we can share goals, ideas, and just contribute towards the betterment of the youth and everybody else in between. And my loves, like, once that table has been created, it takes us to point number 2, which is me being able to freely express myself, to freely express my opinions, to freely express my thoughts, to freely put things out there as I want them to be without them being edited by someone else. Like, basically, I'm involved in the production from the beginning to the end, from the idea in the head, to writing it down on paper, to scripting it if I have to recording the video, setting the camera, editing, and making sure that it's published. So I am in control of everything I do through this platform, and that's how it has changed my life. So from your own perspective, you might not be a YouTuber, but there's something that I actually do, something that has allowed you to be yourself fully, something that has allowed you to be authentically yourself without any middleman, something that has allowed you to reach your next level or your full potential, or something that didn't even exist some decades ago, but now our generation, we have this privilege to be on these platforms. So you can look at it from that angle and see how it has actually helped you, and I think that's actually very good, especially when looking back and also writing down on gratitude and everything in between. This table, which is YouTube, has allowed me the space, the channel, the opportunities to create content on things that matter. For example, I recently attended the United Nations FCCC, the COP28, and it was an experience of a lifetime. And I actually had the opportunity to be there before the event, during and after the event, and I had the opportunity to actually capture everything that was happening from my own eye, from my own angle, and share with people who are also going to understand and relate from my own perspective, and also be able to write down everything that happened through my LinkedIn, my social media platforms, which is something that didn't exist before, but now it exists thanks to these platforms, thanks to YouTube, and I'm super, super, super grateful for that. Which takes us to point number 3. So the point number 3 is that through this, I've had so many doors open for me. As unrealistic as it sounds, is the truth, because on the other side of the world, these things are actually very important. Where I come from, maybe like I have a channel, I'm like, okay, so But then on the other side of the world, guys, they'll be like, oh my goodness, you have a YouTube channel, keep doing it. Oh my goodness, they even give you ideas on how to improve, because it really matters. Maybe in the future I'll be able to actually break it down for you guys so you can understand, because it's very helpful in also building your own personal brand, which in today's world, personal branding is the future, and the future's now. And you know, personal branding in such a digital world has been made way easier. And mind you, let me just remind you, tech is the future. In today's world, everything is going digital, so tech is the future, and tech is not gonna take away people's job, honestly. It's not. But it's the people who know how to use tech, who understand how to use technology, that are going to take other people's jobs. So why not move with the cheese and, you know, don't be left behind. Create your own personal brand. Be out there. Put yourself out there. For example, if you love art, create an art channel. If you love writing, create a blog, start writing. If you love drawing, do something about it. You know, we all are different, have different interests. But however, if we find a way to digitize ourselves or find platforms where we can actually build our own tables, since it can be so hard to enter into a certain tables when you're still starting out, then start there where you have to start, because sooner or later they are gonna be calling you. Like, oh my goodness, we need you here. Like, the big people are gonna be calling you for you to show, for you to feature, for you to do work for them, for you to work with them, for you to collaborate with them. So that's what I highly recommend, that you all start your own brand based on your own interest. If it's football, if it's whatever, gaming, I don't know, whatever you're interested in, just find a platform or a digital platform or a space where you can actually showcase your creativity and build a brand upon that. And just remember that it takes consistency, and overnight success happens overnight, but it also doesn't happen overnight. You have to put in the work before the overnight actually happens, which then takes us to point number 4. Point number 4 is basically me saying that initially when I started this YouTube channel, I really didn't, you know, fully understand it, and but I just had to get the camera and started. And my first video wasn't actually edited. Yes, trust me, I spoke for like 5-6 minutes straight without stuttering because I just could not edit. I was like, you know what, I can do this for other videos. But along the process, I then learned to edit. I learned everything about copyright, I learned everything about music, background music, everything in between. So as they say, experience is the best teacher. So this platform has actually allowed me to go beyond my skills, to go beyond the things I learned in the classroom, to go beyond things I learned at home, and just me discovering new things out there, learning to edit, learning to make thumbnails, learning to create, learning to speak in front of the camera, because I'm a very talkative person, and with me being talkative, I'm also a very, very fast speaker. However, I've been learning to pace myself slowly or moderately where everybody can understand and hear me clearly without having me to repeat myself. So this platform has also been very helpful on that, and I've also just been able to capture everything that happens, building my brand. And on the other side of the world, guys, like, I'm from Africa, I'm from Zimbabwe and Botswana, you know, and then when you come to the other side of the world, people regard this highly. Like, having such a hobby, I'd call it a hobby for now, having such a hobby, they'll be like, oh wow, you know, they'll actually see that you're actually very hardworking and dedicating, and they'll appreciate you more for doing this on the side to everything else you'll be doing. So I highly recommend that you do that, and that has actually changed my life, because now I'm more than motivated to keep creating because of the appreciation. As much as I'm a person who would always say, oh my goodness, I don't mind clapping for myself, but I'm human. At some point we reach a point where, like, you know what, I'm tired of clapping for myself, you know, I'm tired of this, I just need someone to clap for me as well, you know. So now I have these people, you know, just by their little words, just a push for me to motivate. As you can see, I've been consistent, and I'm finally getting the hang of it. I'm finally seeing the vision, the clarity, everything is coming together. So I really appreciate those people, and I really appreciate YouTube for giving me the platform to actually express myself and just be. So in your own case, find something, whether it's YouTube, whether it's Facebook, whether it's gaming, do something about it. Just start. You don't have to be an expert, you don't have to know how to do it. Just watch one video on how to start and start. You learn along the way, you make mistakes. Perfection does not exist. Perfection is the imperfect perfection. I don't know if that makes sense. It really doesn't exist. You just have to start. Yeah, and that's all I can say about you starting. So find your hobby and do something about it. And moving on to the next point, I also strongly believe that each and every video I make, it impacts somebody's life in a positive way. Even if it's just one person per video, at least a life has been changed, a life has been inspired, a life has been changed for the better. Because personally, I have had to work my way up from everything, and I'm still in the process. Still have a long way to go, but with every step I take, I see myself making progress. And there's somebody out there who thinks, oh, maybe I cannot do this, or I cannot go to this place I want to, or I cannot go to the next level. However, if you have thoughts in your mind that you actually want to be in a certain place, in a certain country, it means that it's very possible. However, depending on the environment you live in, the people you socialize with, someone like, oh my goodness, you don't really need that, why do you want to do that? But then there's this push in you that wants you to actually explore the world, because the world is your oyster after all. So I really do believe that through my channel, sharing my journey, my experience around the world, my experience in China, my experience back home in Africa, in Zimbabwe, in Botswana, my experience traveling the world, and now my experience in Dubai, I really feel that I can inspire someone and give somebody the courage to actually get up and keep moving, so that they can just live life. Honestly guys, none of us here are gonna make it out alive, right? None of us are gonna make it out of this life alive, walking 1 2 1 2. We're all gonna end 6 feet. So the best thing you can do is to live a life. Try everything you want to try. Do not leave it for tomorrow. You don't want to be on a deathbed and be regretting like, oh my goodness, I really wanted to do this but I never had the courage because abantu bazotini, what are the people gonna say, you know, those kind of syndromes. You really don't need that. So just do it, just start. So I'm just grateful that I also had the courage to create this channel, because at first I was so scared. I was like, what are people gonna say when I'm like, hey loves, what's good, what's popping, you know? I was so scared because I started my YouTube channel like after my undergrad, and I was like, oh my goodness, people are gonna be like, oh my goodness, school failed, now she's trying to do YouTube, not understanding that the two can actually correlate, they can actually coexist. And yeah, I'm actually glad that I started, and it's been an interesting journey, and the future is quite interesting. Looking forward to all the collaborations, every other content I'm gonna make, all the other series that are gonna be upcoming on this channel, and everything in between. So yeah, moving on to the next point before I start going on and on and on. All right, moving on to the next point, which is content is for life, my darlings. Content is for life. You know, we live in a digital world now where we have the opportunity to actually capture everything and to store it, and then 10 years later, 2 years later, 1 month later, we can always look back. Because now I have a few photos of my grandparents, of my other relatives who are late, but there's only so much we can remember them with, because not much was captured. And with these platforms, I'm actually grateful that I actually get to capture everything and record it. Of course, I may not share everything, but I still have them stored elsewhere. But through what I share, I'm also happy that other people can also look and be like, oh my goodness, if she could do this, then I could do this. You know, I can actually do better and stuff like that. So content is for life, and having YouTube as a platform where we can freely express ourselves and just share everything, I absolutely love that. Another important I learned through YouTube is to not disqualify myself before trying something. So often we have this tendency of disqualifying ourselves before even trying. We look at something like, oh my goodness, that's so hard, I cannot do it. But no, that's not it. Honestly, if somebody else can do it, so can you. As long as you really want to, and you know, you think you can do it, then you can. Of course, based on your interests and whatever you want to do, don't ever disqualify yourself before you start. Even if you're getting rejections, just keep applying. Honestly speaking, I think I've heard more rejections in my life, more rejections than accepted. But all those few accepted that I have, they've taken me to the next level, to this extent that the rejections I got really didn't matter much. And maybe in the future I can actually make a video of a bunch of rejections that I've got within a certain period of time, and you guys can actually see that, you know what, I just kept pushing and I chose to not disqualify myself. For example, right now I have less than 300 subscribers on this channel, but I do not disqualify myself and say, oh my goodness, I have less than 1,000k, I have less than 1k subscribers, I'm gonna stop creating content. No, my content creation is about me giving value to a person out there. So whether it's just one person gets the value, that's good, because sooner or later most people are gonna discover this channel. Most people are gonna recognize, oh my goodness, that there's this person who's actually offering this kind of content, and that's actually gonna be helpful in their life. So I'm not disqualifying myself yet, and never will I disqualify myself through this platform and say that, okay, my channels are growing as fast as I anticipated, so I'm disqualifying myself from the whole YouTube platform, from the whole ecosystem. That's not it. I learned the art of not disqualifying myself and just being there, consistently showing up, because one day, as I said, overnight success happens overnight, but it's a process. It's a whole process that happens before the overnight success happens. So to you out there who's watching this video, please stop disqualifying yourself in anything. Whatever you want to do not look at that job advertisement. I'm like, oh my goodness, they need this, I don't have it, and disqualify yourself. No, just apply. Just apply. For that degree you want to study, oh my goodness, I don't think I'm smart enough. No, you are smart enough, you are more than capable. Just apply for that degree you want to study okay? Just start that course you want to study. Just start drawing. You know, it's like, oh my goodness, I love art, but I don't think I'm good enough. No, you are good enough. Do not disqualify yourself before you start. Do not. Even if you get rejections along the way, do not disqualify yourself. It's life, okay? It's life. It's a bumpy road. You are like up, down. It's like a roller coaster. And as I've said, I think I should actually make a video. Let me know in the comment section down below if you want me to make a video of the list of rejections I got maybe within the last 6 months or the last 3 months, and then you actually be shocked because there's way more rejections than accepted. And one thing again you should do is actually to learn how to thrive through pressure. Despite the rejections, like each rejection should just push you to try 10 times more, 10 times harder, 10 times more, 10 times in different platforms. I think that's also very helpful. Instead of discouraging you to be like, oh my goodness, I'm gonna try again. For example, you get rejected today, give yourself a day and get over it. And then the next day get up and try again, because one day everything is gonna work out for your own good, because the Lord knows the plans He has for you, the plans to prosper you and not to fail you. So just keep pushing, keep trying. Do not disqualify yourself. And I'll say this again, never ever disqualify yourself in anything and in every situation, because you are meant to be there. As long as it's there in your mind, that means you deserve to be in that place. You deserve it to be in that space. Which takes us back to point number 1. Like, if you can't make it yet to that level, build your own table. Start there. And for me personally, my table has been this channel where I just started, you know, and along the way everything's starting to make sense. So you find your own table, build it, and start there, and take it one step at a time as you go forward, because one day you're gonna look back and be like, wow, I actually did this when I thought I couldn't. But because you didn't disqualify yourself, you kept moving, so you did it. So yeah, moving on to the next part, which is basically more or less the sort of what I've been saying, that everything is in your mind, and whatever you see, whatever you can think and dream and work towards, you can achieve. So instead of disqualifying yourself, qualify yourself for everything. You should be able to be like, okay, I qualified myself for this, but I think I deserve this. So you switch. Instead of saying that, oh, I'm not good at this, just say, no, actually my preferences changed, I think I'll be better at this, and then you do that. So qualify yourself for things that you can do. And it's all in the mind, guys. It's all in the mindset. It's all in the mind. So what you feed your mind is what you get out, you know. It's like garbage in, garbage out. So try as much as you can to feed your mind with positive stuff, and you see how life is going to change. Like, just try a detox, you know. There was a period in time where I really enjoyed this toxic content on Twitter. I was like, no man. One day I woke up, I was like, no, why do I enjoy this toxic content of people roasting each other? How is it being beneficial to my life? You know, I actually changed. I made a 360-10. I unfollowed all those accounts that are toxic. I blocked most of the accounts and everything that just didn't align to my future goal, and I started seeing things from a positive side and working towards that. And look at me now, darling. I am in Dubai as we speak, and I'm just here, but the world is big. The world is our oyster. So it's my oyster, it's your oyster. So just keep pushing. Take yourself away from the negative content, because social media is huge. If you use it the right way, it'll take you places, but if you use it the wrong way, you're just gonna be stuck in that little bubble where all you see it as a platform where people just say rubbish and nonsense, when actually other people are making the most out of it. So the choice is yours. And that's how YouTube has been able to transform my life. With less than 300 subscribers, I've managed to learn a lot about myself, to share content, and actually to figure out the way forward, because with every video I make, I learn something new. With every video I make, I learn that, oh my goodness, had I disqualified myself from this, I wouldn't have actually impacted the life of that one person. I actually wouldn't have reached out to these many people, but I actually did. So yeah, this is how YouTube has changed my life with less than 300 subscribers. I become more confident in myself, more confident in the things I do, and more confident just me being able to just grab my camera and vlog everywhere. You know, just an example before, just so I don't say much, you know, like for example when you're traveling, I mean, I think it's really good to capture the memories, right? Because you can always look back and say, okay, I remember on the Airbus A380 I was capturing myself and people were looking, and I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna mind those people. And what happened next surprised me, because this man went to get his phone, and then he came and said, oh, can you help me take your pictures? Like, yeah, sure, videos, pictures, I can do it for you. Because so most people, when they see you doing something, they don't have the courage to do it. So they might look at you in a funny way, or they might look at you in a way that actually admiring you, but then really you can't tell the difference just from their look. So whatever you do, girl, whatever you do, guy, just keep doing it, just keep pushing, because you're doing it for yourself. And like I said earlier, none of us is making out of this place alive. We're gonna live 6 feet under, you know. In conclusion, to sum up this video, YouTube has allowed me a space to build a table where certain rooms you can't enter yet, but I was like, you know what, I can build my table through this platform, and soon those rooms are gonna be calling for me, calling for my expertise, calling for my experience, and I would definitely show up. And also, YouTube has taught me the art of consistency as well as delayed gratification. I've learned how to actually invest in something for the long-term goal, not just for the short-term goal, but because I see the future, I see where everything is going. I've actually learned to be consistent in what I do. And also I've had the opportunity to just be self-expressive, to express myself and just clear my head, empty my head, and share everything that I want to share, because at the end of the day it's definitely going to be beneficial to someone out there. And also YouTube has just given me the platform to just being me, and being authentic to myself is the best thing I can do to myself. And being authentic to yourself, yes, you the one who's watching this video right now, is the best thing you can do for yourself, and I urge you to do that. So I'm gonna leave with this: find a platform that really works for you, find a hobby that works for you, find something you enjoy doing, just start doing it. Don't disqualify yourself just because you didn't get the opportunity. For example, you love art and you say, I never went to art school but I love drawing. Just start drawing. Share your, I don't know, find platforms where art people share their stuff. Share that. Create that table for yourself. Be consistent. Learn about delayed gratification, and also just learn about the whole art of planting seeds whilst you wait for something to happen in the future, because there's a season for everything in life. There's a season for planting, there's a season for growing the crops, there's a season for harvesting, and you have to just put in the work and improve as you go by, and just be strategic about everything you do, and also just meet up with people who do the same things, learn from them and take it from them, and just do whatever you gotta do. Anyways, this is for this video, and in the comment section down below, just comment with whatever you do and how it has changed your life. I mean, 2024 is the new year, and just share whatever you want to share. Something that I've been doing for the past, I don't know, that has changed your life. Whether you're doing it for a large group, for a small group, for yourself, or for everybody, just share in the comment section down below so we can just encourage each other to keep going. Because at the end of the day, you have to show up for yourself every single day. Like, get up and show up for yourself. That's the best thing you can do for yourself. This is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, bye.